Hi, my name is Beer, and let's start with Ghostwire Tokyo. Here the city is overrun by deadly supernatural forces after 99% of the population just vanished, so you will use a powerful arsenal of spectral abilities to fight the paranormal threat and unravel the mystery behind the mass disappearance. It may sound and look a bit like a horror game, but the main emphasis is not on the horror, rather on the fast-paced gameplay where you use your powerful abilities and can fight various ghosts like a true Ghostbuster, or more like a Ghost Eliminator, because you kill them.
How can you kill somebody who's already dead?
Oh, shut up, it's not a science game. And seriously, the game has a rating that allows 12-year-olds to play, so grow your mental balls and dive in. 8-bit Armies. If Command & Conquer spent the night with Minecraft, 9 months later 8-bit Armies would be born. This is a fast-paced RTS, a very colorful strategy arcade game that is easy to learn for players of all skill levels. Collect resources, build up and defend your base, amass your army of tanks and planes, and ultimately crush your opponents. You'll find 25 offline campaign missions, 12 co-op missions to play with your mother-in-law, and 10 multiplayer maps that support up to 8 players online. The game also has pretty good AI you can play with or fight against. The game is easy to understand and is really user-friendly. Solasta, Crown of the Magister. Here you'll discover the shattered world of Solasta, explore ruins and dungeons for legendary treasures, learn the truth of an age-old cataclysm and stop it from happening again. You will be able to create your own party of adventurers in the classic tabletop RPG tradition. The choices you will make while choosing various skills, traits and backstories of your heroes will reflect in their dialogue. You know, if some of them are born in Potato Saladistan, they will always be enemies with the guys who put pineapple in their potato salad. And with these characters you will dive into long-forgotten dungeons to unearth ancient artifacts. But stay watchful of light and darkness. Many dangers hide in the dark, but a light can attract monsters as well. Some enemies have dark vision, some may flee from your torch, but, you know, as I always say, the best way to light your way is with fireballs. It doesn't really matter if your enemies have dark vision or not, a fried monster is always better than a raw monster, so the game is pure treasure for a CRPG fans, and also it includes Dungeon Manager, so you can make your own stories and maps, or play some good ones created by way more talented people than you. Also keep in mind that the game has 3 DLCs and 1 supporter pack available, and those DLCs along with the base game are constantly on one sale or another. And there is no better channel covering sales than this one, so subscribe, don't miss a good opportunity in the future.
ULTRAKILL.
Now we are getting serious. This game is always among the top 20 best rated games on the whole Steam, and that is among tens of thousands of games. It's ridiculous how good this game is.
ULTRAKILL
is a fast-paced, ultra-violent, old-school first-person shooter. It fuses together classic shooters like Quake and modern shooters like Doom Eternal with character action games like Devil May Cry. Here mankind has gone extinct and the only beings left on Earth are machines fueled by blood. And now that blood is starting to run out on the surface and machines are racing to the depths of hell to search for more. Total nonsense, but I like it. People on Steam describe this game quite politely. They say this is a Doom Eternal if it was on crack and also on heroin. And I would add that playing
ULTRAKILL
it's like eating potato salad, except if you dry it out and snort it. You can try the demo version on Steam if you have any doubts. Conan Exiles. This is an online multiplayer survival game with mounts and mounted combat set in the lands of Conan the Barbarian. Here you'll enter an open world sandbox and play together with friends or, you know, with creepy strangers as you build your own home and even a shared city. You will have to survive freezing cold, explore loot-filled dungeons and develop your character from lowly peasant to a mighty barbarian. Also fight to dominate your enemies in epic siege wars. People on Steam are talking that the game is a bit buggy and that can be annoying, but it also has boobs in it, so for this you can forgive almost anything. Steelrising. Basically, if you like dark fantasy and hate France, it's a game for you. Nah, I'm obviously kidding, I love France. But here the country is in ruins and only you can save French people and beat the oil and screws out of the bodies of bloodthirsty robots. So what happened here? Why are there so many automatons running in Paris and killing everyone left and right? Well, of course, because of the evil king Louis XVI. He made an army of robots and started to terrorize citizens just because he can. And because the king doesn't want history to unfold just like it unfolded in our reality. Anyway, people on Steam are saying that Steelrising is a fun steampunk-themed Souls-like game in which you can tweak combat difficulty, so it is more friendly for casual players. But the game lacks optimization. Some gamers say it stutters even on modern PCs, but that is not an issue for everyone, although it's often enough for it to drop the game's score to only mostly positive. Inscryption. This is a card-based odyssey that blends the deck-building roguelike, escape room-style puzzles, and psychological horror into a well-mixed Bloody Mary. You'll acquire a deck of woodland creature cards by draft, surgery, and self-mutilation, unlock the secrets lurking behind the walls of a mysterious cabin, and embark on an unexpected and deeply disturbing adventure. So don't play this game with your little kids or something. Anyway, overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam are well-deserved. This game is a real gem. Also, if you are in doubt, you can play the free demo version. Nobody saves the world. When an ancient calamity reawakens, who can save the world? And the answer is nobody. That's you. You are nobody. Not in real life. In real life, you are an awesome, beautiful person. Never doubt that. Now, subscribe. So here you'll master the art of transformation to become a slug, ghost, dragon, a horse, or someone else. Like an egg, for example. Actually, here you'll find more than 15 distinct forms you can become of. You can mix and match abilities in unexpected ways to unlock and complete even more challenging quests. You can explore a vast overworld on your own or with a friend online. This game is not only beautifully drawn, but it's kinda crazy as well, just like your sister. Crusader Kings 3. Here you'll choose your noble house and lead your dynasty to greatness in a Middle Ages epic that spans generations. War is but one of many tools to establish your reign, as real strategy requires expert diplomatic skill, mastery of your realm, and true cunning. Begin in medieval times and claim titles, lands, and minions to secure a realm worthy of your royal blood. And if you die, that's okay. Your lineage continues with new playable heirs, either planned or not. Depends on your combined skill of bad diplomacy and casual diplomacy while you were alive. But be warned, the game is extremely complicated and it will take you many days to master. Although it has almost endless replayability, it may be the game you play for years and years. Also keep in mind that the prequel of the game, Crusader Kings 2, is completely free on Steam and you can try it anytime you want. Immortals: Fenyx Rising. Because it was an Epic Store exclusive, it has various issues, from missing content to controller problems, and of course it needs you to have an Ubisoft account as well. But in general, this is an amazing title. I bought this game for a full price on the release day, and I can proudly say that this is probably the best game I have played in the year of 2020s. I was expecting nothing from it. It looks childish and colorful, and I don't like any of that. You know, I'm 40 years old, you can't buy me with colors. But I started to feel that something is a sus with my prejudice when I heard the first joke, which was really good, but I'm not gonna spoil it to you. And later I started to realize that the whole game is filled with jokes that I find funny, even in the character creation menu. Fun thing is that during the whole game, gods Zeus and Prometheus are talking in the background about you in the past tense, like everything you do has already happened. You know, when they say,
"And then he saw a terrible monster."
You can be sure that you will see a terrible monster in a second, because it's your story that has already happened, but you don't know how yet. Only gods know. In other words, you have to live the story gods are talking about. So let's hope that they don't say anything like,
"And then he put some pineapples into his potato salad."
No. This is not a horror game, so let's hope they will not say that. Although avoid this game if you don't like puzzles. Fenyx Rising is filled with them, but if you liked solving puzzles in Skyrim, for example, you will feel right at home here as well.
Cult of the Lamb.
This is a base-building roguelite adventure game where you play as a lamb. But instead of grazing grass all day and looking puffy and cute, you're gonna start your own cult. You will have to collect resources to build new structures, and of course you will have to perform dark rituals. But in this randomly generated world, you are not the only one having a cult, so you naturally will have to destroy other cult leaders in order to gain more influence over your mindless slaves. The art is cool, the music is great, and you will find a variety of activities to do with a simple poop. What's not to love? People on Steam are saying that this game might become repetitive, but it has very positive reviews from over 40,000 players. Dandy Ace. So Dandy Ace is a fast-paced roguelike experience hugely inspired by Hades, but not blindly copying it. Here you'll become a fabulous magician seeking to combine and use your magical cards while fighting and looting your way to defeat the green-eyed illusionist who has imprisoned you in a cursed mirror.
Ooh.
While battling your way through this ever-changing place, combine different cards with more than 1,000 possibilities, each with their own playstyles and powers. People on Steam are saying that the game is quite difficult, but has great visuals and the gameplay itself is very entertaining. Dandy Ace has a very positive review score on Steam, so it may be the game you are looking for. Graveyard Keeper. You can make candles from human fat, burn witches, and even sell mystery meat to the local tavern. Well, you and I, we both know that this is human flesh from corpses, but nobody else has to know, right? That is not a question, by the way. You know, you wouldn't want to visit a local tavern as a special guest. You know, I like you. Anyway, Graveyard Keeper is the most accurate medieval cemetery management sim of all time, because obviously there are no other medieval cemetery management games. You'll build and manage your own graveyard and expand into other ventures while finding shortcuts to cut the costs. Use all the resources you can find. After all, this game is about the spirit of capitalism and doing whatever it takes to build a thriving business. If you have guts, try this game. If not, you can always harvest some from a fresh dead body. Dyson Sphere program. A new kind of supercomputer has been developed, a machine whose superior artificial intelligence and computing capability will push humanity even further. I guess they built it so they could finally invent vodka without a hangover. Huge computing power is required for a task like that, that's for sure. Only one problem stands in the way. There's not enough energy in the whole planet to feed this machine, so you need to construct the Dyson Sphere, the thing that engulfs the star itself and sucks all of its energy. You know, all that energy will not suck itself, and sucking is a hard job. Dredge. So this is a fishing game, and in real life I am terrible at fishing. My last 2 fishing trips were marked by my own blood because I caught myself, and I had to actually cut out the barbed end of the hook with pliers in order to remove it from my soft, puny body. Long story short, I am the biggest thing I ever caught. That was really funny for my friends, but for me that was as grim as it can get. So the setting of fishing is nothing that I actually consider a fun thing. But Dredge is not just a fishing game, it's a fishing game with a twist. After dark it becomes a Lovecraftian fishing game. The world around you is teeming with creatures from the void, and when the night sets in, our worlds collide and cosmic horrors enter our realm. Not as scary as your ex-mother-in-law, but still terrifying things. So ideally you want to return to a harbor before the night sets in, so you won't become a dinner for some malevolent demigod of the depths. You can also dock in some safe location and sleep during the night. Of course, it is easier said than done, because the game uses a very cool time management mechanic. If you do nothing, time doesn't move. Like for real, if you just swing on the waves and admire the horizon, you can stay like this forever. But when you start sailing, the timer starts ticking, and at 6 PM Lovecraftian madness starts to settle in. This is a wonderful and honestly kinda relaxing game. Well, except when you go into mangroves. Oh, it's not relaxing at all. Anyway, the game is absolutely 10 cold beers out of 10. A must play. Desperados III. You can kill quietly with a knife or take out multiple foes with your revolvers. I especially like the knife part. It somehow feels more personal and, of course, requires more skill. Scenarios Desperados presents are far from cliché. Situations are quite original, but also familiar with a nice vibe of Wild West. I say vibe because here you will fight not only in small frontier towns, but also in creepy swamps, riverbanks, and even in sprawling modern cities. You can choose between non-lethal and deadly attacks, meaning that you can finish the game without killing anyone. I have no idea why you may do that, it's boring. I live my real life without killing anyone. Why should I do the same where I am allowed to snap a neck or two? Anyway, Desperados 3 is like an old good Commandos game, but modern with amazing visuals and great quality overall. Snowrunner. Well, this is officially a realistic driving game about getting from point A to point B while transporting various cargo. But I would rather call it a Souls-like roguelite puzzle game. Of course, not in the real terms, but rather metaphorically, because the game is insanely hard and you will be doing the same task again and again. Basically, here you have to drive a heavy load truck to the appointed destination. But the trick here is that the road is not what you normally expect. You will have to deal with snow and mud, ice, rivers, fallen trees, and so on. And if you get stuck for real, that's kinda it, you will have to try again. And of course, avoid mistakes of the past, which you can't in real life. You know, all the mistakes you made in your life led you to this very moment where you watch my video. Yeah, well, honestly, if you would have done something differently, you could have ended up in a lava lake instead, or in the belly of a shark. So maybe your decisions were not that bad. Pat yourself on the shoulder. Total War: Three Kingdoms. This game recreates epic conflict across ancient China, and it is made very well. You will battle across lush subtropics, arid deserts and snow-capped mountains. You will encounter the Great Wall of China, Yangtze River and many other historic and nature-made monuments you have no idea ever existed. Three Kingdoms is a great game, and in some aspects it overshadows even the Warhammer trilogy. For totally new players it can also be challenging because the learning curve is really steep, otherwise it's fun, with epic campaigns and battles. High on Life. Here you and a team of charismatic talking guns must answer the hero's call. You will become the deadliest intergalactic bounty hunter the cosmos have ever seen. Game may look like it's oriented to a younger audience, but it's actually the opposite. Drugs, sex, cursing and gore is the very foundation of this game. So here you'll travel to a variety of biomes and locations across the cosmos, go up against the nefarious evil boss and his gang of goons, collect loot and meet unique characters. You will navigate dynamic and changing worlds that range from a jungle paradise to a city built inside an asteroid. Complete hunter challenges, meet weird, fun and hilarious characters, collect an array of alien technology, and so on. People on Steam are saying that the game is very fun, but a bit too short for its price. It's only about 8 hours long. Luckily the price now is cut in half, and the game is worth every cent you have. Slay the Spire. More than 100,000 players are recommending this game for you, and so do I. Slay the Spire is a fuse of card games and roguelike titles. Here you can craft a unique deck, encounter bizarre creatures and discover relics of immense power while trying to climb up the ladder. Game features a dynamic deck building, so assemble your deck wisely. Discover hundreds of cards to add to your deck with each attempt at climbing the spire. Select cards that work together to efficiently dispatch foes and reach the top. People on Steam are talking that Slay the Spire is really addictive, and yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hours played in the comment section. 200 is quite a casual number here, so another game that will keep your virginity safe and sound for a long time. SpellForce 3 Loyalty Pack. This is the best deal to buy SpellForce games. All 3 major releases in one bundle, meaning that if you buy SpellForce 3 Reforced and one standalone expansion, you get another standalone expansion for free. When not on sale, any SpellForce 3 standalone expansion is priced €20, so more than all 3 games combined now. And the title itself is the best thing a Warcraft 3 RTS fan could ever get. It's basically the same, just more oriented to RPG side, because your heroes here are way more important and unique than in Warcraft 3. Also, games are heavily story-oriented, so be prepared for pages and pages of dialogues. They are quite interesting, just be prepared that the game's pace is really slow, like your sister. Dome Keeper. The discount is not very high, but the game is very affordable anyway. People behind the project are not greedy. Dome Keeper has about 90% of positive reviews, so it is obviously a hidden gem you may want to try. Well, a nice polished rock at least. This is a roguelike survival miner where you will defend your dome from wave after wave of monsters. You will use the time between each attack to dig beneath the surface and search of valuable resources and artifacts, and use them carefully to choose powerful upgrades and bonuses. People on Steam are talking that the game is very polished, rich and imaginative. It's all you need for your free time. Well, this and potato salad. Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened. If you like Sherlock Holmes and Lovecraftian stuff, this may be your spoon of potato salad. Here you become Sherlock Holmes and find yourself at the heart of terrifying Cthulhu mythos as you investigate a series of mysterious disappearances in Europe and the United States. Those are apparently linked to a dark cult that worships an ancient god. Whatever their plan is, you must put a stop to it, or, face unspeakable consequences. Yeah, all that sounds nice, but can I join the cult? Can I worship the ancient god as well? What if Sherlock decided that his life of investigations is boring and being a servant for a Dagon himself is a more fulfilling experience? I doubt that, but it would be nice if you could actually choose the unexpected way. Across the Obelisk. A turn-based dungeon crawler roguelike RPG and a member of the deck-building family. You can play it alone or in 4-player co-op mode and prove that your party is led by a tactical genius. And it's you are a very smart and beautiful person. Now, subscribe, this praise isn't free. Anyway, the game is an owner of very positive reviews on Steam. 92% of players are happy with the purchase, so if a deck-building aspect doesn't scare you, it's a no-brainer. Especially if you have a friend with whom or from whom you can conquer these lands. You'll find more than 500 different cards and a procedural generated system that makes this game highly replayable. People on Steam are saying that this is a very fun game, although it might get boring after a while. Deadside. This is a multiplayer shooter game set in an open world. Here you'll experience a realistic post-apocalyptic game environment filled with NPCs and real players. As developers say, Deadside is all about balancing the dynamics of a shooter and the hardcoreness of survival games. The world of the game focuses on realistic aspects of life with the ruins of dead civilization. You won't find any zombies here.
What?
Yeah, you heard right. The name of the game is Deadside, and it is without zombies. It seems that someone made a huge marketing mistake here. I clicked on the title especially because I thought, hey, a new zombie game, and it's not. It's like naming your game Best Race and putting no cars in it, or like naming it StarCraft and putting no crafting in it. Oh wait. Shut up. The game is in early access, don't expect miracles. A bit less than 80% of reviews are positive. Honestly, not a bad result. Really not bad. Outer Wilds. It was named Game of the Year 2019 by Giant Bomb, Polygon, Eurogamer and The Guardian, so that alone should grab your attention. If it grabs something else or somewhere else, call the police. Here you are, the newest recruit of the Outer Wilds Ventures, a space program searching for answers in a strange, constantly evolving solar system. You will have to find what lurks in the heart of the ominous Dog Bramble. Who built the alien city on the moon? Well, obviously aliens, but you know what I mean. Can the endless time loop be stopped? And why is potato salad so delicious? Answers await you in the most dangerous reaches of space. Game has overwhelmingly positive reviews, so you can't go wrong with this one. Prison Architect. Welcome to the prison. And not a prison of your mind you're living in right now, but a real one. Well, real is a relative term here. The game works somehow similar like any dungeon manager game. Well, more like literally the same. Except your inmates do not have as much of free will here, if you know what I mean. Anyway, here you will build an amazing maximum security prison where you can be a sadistic tyrant and torture your inmates. Or, I don't know, Norwegian prison where inmates live better than people in freedom in most of the countries. I just saw on TV one documentary and their prisoners had better TVs and furniture than I do at my home. So, you know, you can help me out by supporting me on Patreon or joining here on YouTube. By the way, did you know that Prison Architect has a 3D mode as well? This is not a mod or something, you can turn it on or off anytime you want. Just don't drop the soap. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep in mind that you can find about 20 more Steam Summer Sale videos in my channel. Check them out, you will definitely find something for yourself. Have a nice day and I'll see you next time, bye!